Hello, all you beautiful beings. Taking these off. I can't stand that stupid glare I get. Okay, the video I'm responding to is several months old now. I did try making a response to it when I first saw it. That wasn't such a great idea because it wasn't very good, and like a lot of people, a lot of these guys' fans started attacking me and downvoting my video, and it's like, I don't even get it. So I want to just make a quick response to some of these things. And to any fanboys of theirs who want to attack me in the comment section saying I'm not really answering the questions or anything. First of all, if you're really that desperate to see actual answers to these questions, I did write a blog post in response to it that I will link down below. And secondly, these are not actual questions that were wanted answers. You know what these are? These are just insults disguised as questions. Insults and straw man attacks disguised as questions. So it's like, if you think that's worth a serious response, well, again, I did write one below that was just a little more serious. Still has a bit of snark because that's how I deal with immaturity. But yeah. Okay, let's begin.
Claim to speak for Why do you claim to speak for LGBT people, women, and ethnic minorities, but when LGBT people, women, and ethnic minorities disagree with you, you harass them?
Gee, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? Because most of the guys in these videos have attacked LGBT people, ethnic minorities, and women with whom they disagree. It's like, and since you addressed this to SJWs, I don't even like that term. It's like, it's just a bunch of, but it doesn't really matter. Disagreement is not harassment. There are things I disagree with other feminists about, other anti-racist people about, other vegans, other LGBTQ people, and I can do that in a rational adult way without calling them names or telling them or sicking my followers on them. I don't have that big a following, but still.
Do you realize that your war on language through political correctness has made you bedfellows with true rape culture? In other words, Islam, the world's most misogynistic ideology.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm an atheist, so I don't align myself with any religion or religious ideology. Secondly, there is no war on language going on. Language is changing and evolving over time. It's kind of how it works. It's like, you would probably never call a black person colored to their face, would you? I don't know. I mean, with this guy, I never know. But let's move on.
Do you want women to be equal, or do you want women to be a protected class? You can't have both. If you expect society to treat women as equal with men, why don't women have to take responsibility for their own safety?
Yeah, that's right, Knight in Shining Tuxedo. Because, you know, it's not as though there are women's self-defense classes, why women often travel in groups, especially at night. There's none of that. It's like, no, because we expect women to be a protected class. Women are never encouraged, like, to stick up for ourselves, or... It's like... Jeez. Once again, if you want a serious response, you can read my blog post below.
What are you afraid will happen when you leave your safe space?
Safe spaces don't exist because people are afraid to leave them. I see this kind of nonsense all the time. I even saw a blog, a Twitter post where someone said, safe spaces don't exist in real life. My response to it was, yeah, so group therapy, addiction support groups, and abuse victim shelters, they don't exist. They're just a figment of our imagination. It's like, yeah, I'll leave an actual definition of what a safe space is below. A link to it. Well, let's move on.
How can you possibly justify the idea that it's somehow racist to disagree with Black Lives Matter, and yet it's not racist when a black person tweets something like, "Kill all white people"?
Okay, well, First of all Black Lives Matter is about is drawing attention to police brutality as it affects people of color, especially people of color who are otherwise marginalized, like people of color who are trans or gay. That's all it's drawing attention to. It's like, and if you disagree with that, you might either misunderstand it, or just you're being intellectually dishonest, or maybe you do have some race issues. As far as a black person tweeting "kill all white people," it's like that's a stupid thing to say. It's just, but it's not hurting anybody. It's actually it's like there's no people like killing white people just because some guy on Twitter told them to.
Here's a question. Are you aware that the present is not the past? I'm not kidding. Are you familiar with the concept of linear time? Because you seem incredibly comfortable traveling back through time to talk about how bad things were for women, or black people, or whoever. And then by using some form of SJW magic, you then claim or imply that those problems in the past exist today. Are you aware that this trick that you're doing is not working? Why do you think that would work?
Let me ask you a question. Are you under the impression that racism, sexism, etc., that those only existed in the past, that we're not dealing with any kind of issues with those things today? It's like, because, we are. And I'm sure everybody understands the concept of linear time. It's like, but most people also understand that the past can affect the present, which affects the future if we in the present don't try to change things and make them better.
Do you really think you can spend your entire life in a state of perpetual emotional immaturity? Do you actually imagine that you'll be able to stretch out your adolescence for your entire existence?
Yes, please tell me more about how freaking out about feminist video game critics, Ghostbusters movies, and starting petitions to get rid of college classes you don't like. Tell me how that's emotional maturity.
There are 13% more women in college right now than men. So if the whole goal of feminism is equality, shouldn't we have some men-only scholarships in order to equal everything out?
Okay, first off, a 2-second Google search would have shown you that yes, there are men-only scholarships, such as Eagle Scout scholarships, scholarships for gay men applying to college, scholarships from fraternities, etc. And secondly, there are a variety of reasons there are fewer men enrolled in college than women at this point in time. It's like some men join the military, some men they join the workforce right out of high school, and some men, that's not even accounting for trade schools, for 2-year colleges, etc., etc. It's like, it's certainly not because of any systemic oppression of men.
If feminism and egalitarianism are both for equal rights, then why does one start with a gendered prefix while the other one is entirely gender neutral?
You are aware that feminism is not a new concept, right? That it started a couple centuries ago. It's like, it's not a new concept. It's like, and the reason it begins with a gendered prefix, as you put it, is that it was originally formulated in a time in which women were not equal to men. And I think it's debatable whether or not we're still there, but and egalitarianism, yeah, that's an admirable goal. It's certainly not one that has to be it's certainly not like it and feminism need to be at odds with each other. And really, the only people I see claiming they have to be at odds are anti-feminists and anti-SJs. Continuing.
What do you hope to gain by bringing back racial segregation?
Okay, well, when I've heard people talk about this, it's like they're equating safe spaces that are like black only or people of color only to segregation. Can I just say it's quite a big leap of logic to say this safe space being restricted to certain people only it's pretty big leap to connect that to white only restrooms or colored drinking fountains or colored schools versus white schools, etc. It's like that's an awfully big leap.
My granduncle was dropping bombs on London. Did your grandparents get out of their bunkers in the morning to protest with signs that read, "Not all Nazis"?
Okay, so the point I think is being made here is to equate Nazis with Muslims or just Islamic terrorists. Well, first of all, my grandparents were black children living in America during the 40s, but that's beside the point. It's like it's a total false equivalence because as the Nazis were like air bombing London, all of England and France, they were bringing the war to them. It's like, but America's bringing the war to these Middle Eastern countries, and it's like, it's different. It's not the same thing. It's just a total false equivalence.
Why do you think every cis white male is born racist? Racism is a learned behavior.
I'm curious, did that make sense when you said it in your head? Because literally no one is claiming that anyone is born racist. Like you said, it's a learned behavior, and many people have learned it and internalized it. It's like, this wasn't well thought out at all, was it?
How can you possibly say that the phrase "all lives matter" is somehow racist? It sounds like something the Dalai Lama would say.
3 words. Context is everything. If you're saying it in response to Black Lives Matter, which again, they're trying to bring attention to an issue, you saying all lives matter is considered a derailing tactic. That's the difference.
Would you rather be right or popular? It seems like your primary objective is to score social points and get public validation. You speak publicly in the same way that people write their dating profiles. Stop trying to demonstrate how awesome you are and get real.
So, I find it funny that this video that mostly contains atheist channels that used to make just atheist content and talk about bigotry against atheists and like religious extremism. There goes Skylar again. But then when it became popular to complain about SJWs and how they're ruining all their fun, how when that became popular, or a lot of them just switched over to that, it's like, can you tell me again who again is seeking public validation? Because yeah, that's a little bit of the pot calling the kettle black.
If a drunk man sleeps with a drunk woman, the woman is incapable of giving consent, but the man is?
Literally nobody argues this. And again, you can look at my link if you want a real answer to it, but it's like, it's just like all adult issues, this one's actually complicated. It's like, I talk more about this in my blog, you'll have to read it.
Is it really easier to spend your life attempting to pacify the world and subdue all around you, instead of accepting that you are the person who has to change?
You know, honey, I was about to say the exact same thing to you.
When I'm singing along with rap music, is it okay if I say the word nigga?
How?
Sure. Might I suggest you not do that very loudly if you're in Baltimore or DC? I'm just looking out for you.
How do you reconcile your opinion that gender doesn't matter or even exist with your need to invent new genders each day?
Charming. By the way, I don't really know of anybody who says gender doesn't exist. I know of many people who say it exists on, scale's probably the best way to put it. It exists on a scale or a continuum. I don't really know of anybody who says it doesn't exist, and it's not really cool to, it's not really cute to joke, to poke fun at non-binary people that way. Just saying.
In your version of equality, will white men ever have a voice in society, or will white men always be too privileged to participate in discussion?
You know, Tuxedo Mask, I actually find it funny that you're saying that in a YouTube video that's all white men complaining about people they don't like. It's like, it's like, I realize this video is meant as a parody of, BuzzFeed video, well, the videos BuzzFeed has made, but at least one could argue that the BuzzFeed videos were actually an attempt, albeit a misguided attempt, to start a conversation. Videos like this just make me think that these people, like these anti-SJs, they just want to talk over it. They don't want to get involved.
What makes you think that the power of censorship that you are so desperately trying to establish now will at no point be used against you?
Criticism is not censorship. Calling people out is not censorship. It's like, could you people just learn what words mean? I mean, half the time these people love the dictionary, other times they forget.
Why is it that if a woman dresses sexy or even topless in public, you support it, but if a female video game character is dressed sexy, then you want her clothed more modestly?
First of all, look up the trope, men act, women are. The problem a lot of feminists have, not necessarily me, but a lot of feminists have, is that while male characters, the example I used in my blog is actually like superheroes, like comic book heroes, like male characters, like they're dressed in tight spandex, but they're defined by their actions. Like male superheroes, female superheroes, like, they might be defined by their actions, but like their clothing choices are totally aesthetic, definitely not because of their superheroes. The examples I used were like Raven not wearing pants, or Starfire having a bare midriff, or Wonder Woman being dressed in essentially a bathing suit. It's like, think about how much sense that would make for a superhero to wear, like or any action hero, really.
What is your favorite song to sing really loud when you're confronted with a different point of view?
I'm glad you asked. This one. Wait for it. Shit. Oh, come on, does this video really need an ad on it? Alright, I'll just sing it then. I know a song that gets on everybody's nerves. Everybody's nerves, yes, on everybody's nerves. Usually it makes them go away.
Down the street! Why are you afraid of dissenting opinions? Your continued attempts to silence all opposition, either by smearing them publicly or labeling their content as hate speech and having it removed, only serves to insulate your bubble even more.
Once again, this just reeks of the pot calling the kettle black, because these are people who, a lot of them, not only do they have big followings here, but they have followings on their Twitter pages, and sometimes they'll retweet tweets from people who criticize them, knowing, I know they'd argue that this isn't intentional, but they're not stupid, they know their audience, knowing that their audience will attack whatever person is criticizing them. It's like, yeah, what was that about being afraid of dissenting opinions? And it's not just SJWs who are assigning names to people who disagree with them. SJW is just a slur that these people use. It's like, I know there are some people trying to reclaim it, and it's like, but I never claimed it to begin with. It's like, it's just like, it's a straw man, essentially. Like, SJWs just want to make your life worse just for the sake of it. But it's like, and no, that's not.
And maintain your echo chamber.
Or talk about not being able to look into a flippin' mirror.
It also prevents you from taking on new information and hearing different points of view. Different points of view that are sometimes superior to yours. which tends to happen whenever I talk.
Says the guy whose avatar is a cartoon kangaroo. I find it funny that so many of these people just hide behind just like some image. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
What is reverse racism? Like, what the actual fuck is it? It's just racism, right? I mean, am I going crazy here? Am I taking crazy pills?
I don't know, Tuxedo Mask. It's your lot that uses it.
Do any of you people actually remember all the pronouns? You know the list, right? The one with 76 fucking genders.
Charming.
Why do you feel entitled to control what artists and entertainers are allowed to express? Why do you think your sensibilities should be placed above the sensibilities of actual creators?
I don't know about you, TJ, but I'm a creator. I have this channel, I have my blog, I write other things, I am an artist, and I kind of just take criticism with a grain of salt as part of the job. If I think it's legitimate, I might just think about it. I might consider trying something new. It's like, and that's how most creators actually.
Have you ever considered that using the term
most of us actually consider that just part of the job. It's like most creators don't take criticism that personally.
That using the terms racism and sexism as haphazardly as you do to describe everything under the sun that makes you feel uncomfortable devalues the word to the point that it actually hurts the people who actually suffer from real sexism and real racism?
I find it funny that this video comes from a bunch of white males. It's like, because it's like whenever women talk about sexism, or black people or other people of color talk about racist things we've faced, or heaven forbid if a queer black woman talks about it, it's like we just get shouted down by people like this. It's like we get told it's not racist, or it's not sexist. Stop playing the victim. It's like, so what difference does it make if, cause you know, you don't listen anyway. This is just.
Have you ever fucking thought of that? Those are my questions, TJ. I hope you liked them. Hope I delivered on your fucking video.
Have you guys tried drinking this shit? It's great.
No, but after this I need some chamomile tea. I just don't understand. When did becoming an asshole will become a good thing? I don't know. I'm tired. I'm gonna go see my dogs. Dogs make so much more sense than anti-SJs. That's my video for today. I'm gonna go have lunch, and as always, peace and love.